Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to another class on 20th century Malayalam literature in translation. So, we have been dealing with Mist by M.T. Vasudevan Nair. So, this is the second video in the series. In the last video, I told you all about M.T. Vasudevan Nair, a short introduction based on him and his writings. And I gave you an introduction to Mist, a novella. In Malayalam, it is called Manya. So in that video, I introduced about the setting, the background, the protagonist, and her initial settings, etc. In that video, we learned that her name is Vimala. She is a school teacher and a hostel warden in Nainital, a hostel warden for girls, that is. So probably a girls' school too. And we also learned that she has been living there in Nainital for 9 years. So she first joined the school when she was 21 years old. Now she is in the start of her 30s. And we learn the novella progresses through her reminiscences. It doesn't have a linear narrative, doesn't have a linear structure. The novella, the plot actually moves forward through her reminiscences. So she remembers, she has memories about her coming to Nainital. She has memories about her family. We learn about her family history a little bit. We learn about this particular hostel and its surroundings and the town through her narratives. And we also learn about a mystery man in her memories, Sudhir Kumar Misra. Right now, he is still shrouded in mystery, just like the town of Nainital is shrouded in mist. So the mystery surrounding this man is not yet completely revealed to us. At this point, what we know is that Sudhir Kumar Misra, Vimala met him on her first bus ride to Nainital. When she was first coming to Nainital to join the school as a teacher, that is when she first met him. And 5 days later, they were roaming about together. They were exploring the town. They were going up lovers' track, and they became lovers. So in this particular class, in this video, we are going to further explore what is going to happen and through her reminiscences. So when we see Vimala again, she has just come back from a walk to the lake. And now she has come back to her room. She receives 2 letters. One is from her brother Babu. The second letter is from her friend Shanta. She's a science teacher maybe in the same school. So Shanta says that she has decided to get married and it's an invitation or something like that. So Vimala doesn't even feel like replying to Shanta. She is just stuck in this memory loop, in this time loop. So she doesn't want anything to disturb her from that stagnant silence or inaction. So Vimala decides not to go out again. Now she is getting a little chilly. She's getting a little cold. Now she wants to get a sweater out of her trunk. When she opens her trunk and feels for a sweater, she gets a pink sweater. And it has musical notes embroidered into it. It is lying at the bottom of her trunk or a suitcase. And then she remembers about a fine day with Sudhir Kumar Misra. She spent a beautiful day strolling about the town with Sudhir Kumar Misra, and that is actually related to this sweater. So they were roaming around in the market, and Sudhir actually playfully asks her to to choose a really nice sweater for a girl. Maybe he wants her to be jealous or something. Like he wants her to think that there is another woman in his life. Now, he had this wicked look in his eye, and she had a little flash of jealousy in her eyes. And she chose this pink sweater with musical notes embroidered on it. So he packed it, he buys it, and after that, they go for a movie in a cinema hall. Before they go to the movie, they actually go to have food at a restaurant. At that restaurant, she's very happy at that moment. She's a 21-year-old. She doesn't have anybody else remarkable in his life. This is the first time something exciting is going on in her life. She has this wonderful man in front of her, admiring her. She's having a good time with him. So at that restaurant, she actually saw her student, a ninth grade student, with her family. She has come there to have dinner or something, and she all of a sudden she's a little embarrassed. Now my student has seen me. She's definitely going to go to school and tell all her friends that she saw teacher with a handsome young man. Now this girl comes and greets her. She says, okay, good afternoon, or hello, teacher G. And for some reason, Vimala introduces Sudhir as her cousin. But anyway, she has this secret delight in her mind. And even though she's a little worried about the gossip that might happen about her, she's also a little delighted to be spotted with this extremely handsome young man. And she feels a little proud of herself that her students are going to gossip about her and this handsome young man. And after that, they go for a romantic movie in the cinema hall. So there are some, love scenes that figure in this particular movie, some steamy scenes where the hero kisses the heroine's lips, and there is a lot of sexual tension going on between Sudhir and Vimala at this point of time. They both are a little bit embarrassed to be in the presence of this particular romantic scene, but at the same time, we can sense that there is definite chemistry going on between the two. Now, Empty then makes Vimala remember a particular sequence in her life, a particular moment in her life when she lost her virginity, when she made love for the first time to Sudhir Kumar Misra. He was the only man in her life, actually. And MT actually writes it very wonderfully, very beautifully. He provides a description of their tender lovemaking. That was the first experience. And Vimala remembers walking to Sudhir Kumar Misra's hotel room, maybe. The floor was carpeted in red. There is cigarette smoke, and Paul Anka's voice is playing. So he has music, he's smoking a cigarette, and they both are a little bit tensed. Beforehand, when they used to meet in the city, in the town, when they used to go on walks, Sudhir could not be stopped from talking. He would be a relentless talker. But for the first time, he is struggling for words. There is definite tension between them. They are both looking forward to what is going to happen between them. And the music, the singer was singing this song. I'll read you the lyrics. Put your head on my shoulder, whisper in my ear, baby, words I want to hear, baby. Now, that is actually a romantic number, and it seems like a little bit of a foreshadowing. This might be what is going to happen with Vimala and Sudhir. She might be putting her head on his shoulder. We are left with anticipation of what is going to happen. Now you see that MT actually builds up this moment wonderfully. Readers are anticipating, so something exciting is going to happen. There is a turn of events that is going to happen. Now, for the first time, they engage in the physical intimacy, act of love making. I would really want to read this particular sequence to you, so let me do that for you. So let me just read from this particular session in the novel. So they both are together in the room. There's a lot of tension between them. Let's see what happens. He held out his hand and gripped her fingers to lift her up. The blood rushed to her face. Currents of pain springing from her trembling feet coursed through innumerable veins in her body. Words and sounds seemed very distant. Come. All that remained was a memory, as vague as the unidentifiable spot where a stone sinks into the center of widening ripples of expert fingers running over her body as she lay with her eyes shut in the faint light. which crept furtively into the room through the closed window. She had known this would happen. Don't. I can't bear it. Her voice was feeble. It's nothing. When she tried to open her eyes, she thought that those shining blue eyes dimmed for a moment as if a film of oil had descended over them. Pain. She twisted in pain, biting her lips, her arms entwined around his neck. I must not weep. At this moment, when I surrender everything I have, I must not weep. My mind is a valley into which mist floats down. My very own valley. At this moment, when you dissolve completely into me, I must not weep. Eons later, when she opened her eyes, he asked her, his moist lips pressed against her cheek, did it hurt? She could not say anything. She could laugh. She could cry. Her whole body burned. She was afraid to get up. She lay with her eyes closed and watched stars flowering in the clear May sky. Far away, a cloud drifted like a white handkerchief that someone had set afloat on the wind. Hoisting herself sideways up to the edge of the bed and balancing herself with one hand on the ground, she reached out to restart the record player and was overcome by acute embarrassment. She pulled at the quilt to cover herself and saw three bright spots of blood on the sheet. A woman's voice began to sing about beautiful days and lonely nights. He lay on his side and held out his hand, beads of perspiration running down his chest. Vimala, she forced her throbbing eyelids to stay closed. In her mind was a vast volume of things she wanted to say to him, but her throat felt parched. I am no longer myself. Her voice froze on her trembling lips. Her body had no weight at all. It drifted here and there like a sliver of cloud floating in the sky, like a white handkerchief someone had set afloat in the hurricane that swept the valley. So, what we just read here was a beautiful passage where MT describes about Vimala's first experience of losing her virginity with Sudhir Kumar Misra. Now, this is a romantic and a lot of emotions are coming and going in Vimala's mind, which MT has captured successfully. He tells us about the confusion, the sexual tension. He also tells us about the pain, the memory of this particular moment, and the kind of interpretation MT gives to losing her virginity is that one of submission. Like she is submitting herself before him, and he is taking something valuable from her. Now, this is a very beautifully rendered passage. And even after they make love, she tries to get up and she plays the record, and music is playing in the room. And a woman is singing at this point. Earlier, when she first came into the room, a man's voice was singing about. It was a romantic song. Now a woman's voice is singing about beautiful days and lonely nights. That is again, that could be a foreshadowing. So Vimala had some beautiful days with Sudhir Kumar Misra. Now maybe lonely nights are awaiting her. We don't know. It could be a foreshadowing. Now at this moment, a lot of emotions are going through Vimala's mind. She feels like she is not the older self. She has become a new person after this experience. She says that I am no longer myself. And I have submitted my everything. Something precious and valuable to me is lost forever. I have become a new woman from now on. And she feels weightless, and she feels like she is a cloud floating on the skies after a hurricane. So the hurricane that happened in her life is Sudhir Kumar Misra's entry. After he entered and exited, maybe, she has been quite weightless. Without a destination, she is like floating here and there. So that is what happened to her in this particular sequence. Now, Vimala again decides to take another walk. I told you at the outset itself that Vimala has this favorite activity, that is going on walks in Nainital. So she walks along the dirt road again. She decides to go down to the lake once again, and she meets Buthu once again. Buthu, if you remember him from the last class, he is a young boatman, 17 or 18 years old. His father was a tourist, a foreigner who came to Nainital once and never returned. So he is on the lookout for his father. So that might be why he took this job as a boatman, so that he could meet the foreigners coming to visit Nainital. Now, Buddhu seems to be a little disappointed at this point of time, because this season not many foreigners came to visit Nainital. So his chance of visiting or meeting his father is actually lost now. He is also tense that many people have actually told him that all the white people have left Nainital, left India. So you have to remember that this particular novel is set in 1960s, early 1960s, and many people, after India got independence, almost many people actually left. The white people, Britishers left India, but many people actually remained behind. By the 60s, most of them started to migrate back to Britain again. Our Buddhu again, doesn't know things completely. So he's confirming with Vimala if all the foreigners have returned to England, all the foreigners have left India. Now, Vimala wants to protect Buddhu from this news. So she says that they are not telling the truth. Not everybody has left. So after taking a walk, she comes back to the boarding house, and she notices that Amar Singh, the watchman, he is passed out cold, he is drunk. That is his favorite time of the year, when all the girls have left for vacation. He likes to have his drink, and he's also a marijuana addict. So he wants to have his drugs and all. And it's a time he enjoys himself. So she doesn't want to disturb him. Before entering into the boarding house, her bedroom, she notices that next door to the boarding house is a traveler's bungalow named Golden Nook. Golden Nook. And this bungalow has a new visitor this time. Every year, a new visitor comes to this bungalow. Sometimes it's a newly married couple, sometimes it's a family. This time, there is a new visitor to the bungalow, and she sees him through the window. He is very still. He is sitting on a chair, and he has put up his legs on a stool. It's a Sardarji, and she can't actually determine his age. She's seeing him from a distance, right? And that evening, the Sardarji starts to play a song on Iktara. He is singing a Punjabi folk song, a sad Punjabi folk song on Iktara. Iktara is an instrument. I will pull up a video for you to understand what it is really. And Sardarji's song is actually tugging at her heartstrings. It is stirring something strange and something sad inside her. She becomes haunted listening to this music, this song. So I will read a few lyrics of this particular sad Punjabi folk song. Let's see that. Dil ka tukda mein kagas bagawa, ungaliyan katta kani, ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਜਲਾ में शाही बनावा, हसुआ दा पानी आ पानी. So what it means is that using a bit of my heart as paper, cutting off a finger to fashion a pen, dissolving mascara in my tears to make ink, let me write you a message. So it's about a lover, probably a lover who wants to write a message to her beloved, her or his beloved. The pain that he or she feels is so much that he feels like the act of writing a message, writing a letter to his or her beloved, it's like he is using his own heart as a paper. He's cutting off his finger to use as a pen. and he's using the mascara, the eyeliner, and dissolving it with tears to make ink. So the love is not easy. Love is painful sometimes. That extreme pain, that emotion is captured using this sad Punjabi folk song with the accompaniment of Iktara. So we don't know anything about this new visitor again, but the next day, Vimala actually meets this visitor. When she comes out of the boarding house to go on a walk, maybe she hears that Amar Singh is actually talking to this Sardarji. Now, about this Sardarji, he had a very deformed and crooked face, and she still can't determine his age. He looks somewhere between 40 and 60. She can't exactly put an age to him. And he meets her at the door of the hostel, and he says that, the watchman has told him that Vimala has a big collection of books, so he asks if he can borrow some books. And Vimala at first feels a little irritated at the Sardarji and Amar because they have been talking about her when she was not present. But she goes in and finds some books and gives it to the Sardarji. And when Sardarji walks into the bungalow, Amar Singh tells her that the Sardarji must be very rich because you can easily come to Nainital in a bus. It's a very comfortable ride too. But Sardarji came by an expensive taxi. So that must mean that Sardarji must be very rich. And he also reveals another important piece of information, that is that Sardarji came to this bungalow. He stayed at this bungalow 18 years back. So we get some picture, we get some idea about this Sardarji now. So when Vimala is about to go out once again for a walk, she receives a visit from the postman announcing that she had a trunk call. She got a trunk call from home, and this trunk call gave her the information that her father has passed away. And now she wants to go to the house to prepare for the funeral and all. So finally she goes to the her house. So when she comes to the house, she thought that it would be crowded with visitors, but there were not actually as many visitors in the house. Her family, her mother, her brother and sister, they were there, and some Malayalis who lived in that neighborhood, like Mr. Menon, he was there, and also this particular Mr. Albert Gomez. We already heard about Albert Gomez. Vimala's mother actually has some illicit relationships with Mr. Albert Gomez. Now, after the funeral, she doesn't actually feel like staying at home. She feels uncomfortable there. She feels like a fish out of water when she goes to her house. And she even witnesses some the kind of relationship that is going on between, the kind of intimacy, not physical intimacy but emotional intimacy between her mother and Albert Gomez. Now she feels chagrined, she feels disgusted being with this family, and all she wants to do is escape from this locality and goes back to her real home, that is Nainital. So she decides to go that evening itself. Her brother and sister, they want her to stay more, especially her sister. She spends a night there, but that night itself is very irritating for her. Even though she is able to sleep and all, she doesn't feel comfortable with her own family. So she walks away from her house, and now she feels solace at the thought of returning to Nainital. She sees Nainital as her own space, as her own world. A Nainital which is pervaded by mist with the presence of lakes and hills. She feels like that is her home. So let me read you that passage about that feeling of Vimala's when she decides to go back. With the bus pulling out, she was finally at peace with herself. She was going back to her world, her own world. She could listen to the footfalls of the travelers who came from arid lands in search of mountains, lakes, mists, snow, and the cold, footfalls around her tomb. Now, whenever she talks about Nainital, there's a lot of inaction on her part. whereas there is a lot of action surrounding her in Nainital. We can perfectly well say that Vimala's past life, 9 years of her life, has been really untoward. She has been living in a dream world or something. Nothing is happening in her life. She's just hanging on to a memory from the past, and she's been stuck in the past. Moreover, she is leading a stagnant life. She doesn't even care about the passage of time. All she does is she's waiting. But the problem with waiting is not an uh, active action. It's an inactive action in itself. So nothing is going on with her, but things are happening around her. The nature is changing in Nainital. Every year, the tourists come to Nainital in search of the cold and the mist and the lake and all. She feels at ease in the middle of this crowd where she can be alone, where nobody knows her. That is the kind of association she has with Nainital. And also, maybe she is worried that if she stays away from Nainital for a long time, the person or the thing for which she was waiting will return and it will go away without finding her. But we know for certain that she is leading a very unhappy life. Nothing is going on at all. Let's see what happens to her in the coming pages in the next video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope this was beneficial for you. Stay tuned for the next video. Bye.